All right, am I audible?
Yes.
All right, cool. Okay, let's just begin with where we left off in the last session. So we'll begin with CSS. So we have discussed background, then we have discussed IDs, we have discussed classes, and we have discussed borders, putting borders on top, putting borders on right, left, and bottom. Then we have discussed margins, paddings. We have even played around with heights and widths. Also, we have discussed positioning in relative as well as positioning in absolute. So next we'll just dive into Flexbox. Okay. Flexbox is like, you can say it's a flexible box. I'll just demonstrate first and then we'll look into what it actually is. Let's just remove all of this first. And then this as well. We'll make a div and we'll call it as parent div, and then we'll put some children to it. So I'll tell you one shortcut how to do this. Like, instead of making div and then putting it in class as child div, and then copying this, then control V, this is one shortcut to it. I'm not sure if it works, but let me just try. So you can do div into 3 dot child div. So what this does is it creates div asterisk 3 dot child. So what this does is it creates 4 divs and has the class as child div, like that. So yeah, so we'll just put 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, great. We'll quickly style these and then we'll start with the Flexbox thing. Okay. We'll put the classes first. As well as this. Now we can manipulate it while using inspect element. I've just zoomed in a bit. Sorry if this was not that visible. Okay, just a recap. We have made a parent div and then we have made 4 children of it. We call this class as parent div, and then we have made 4 of these, and then we just put 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we have copied these classes and then just put them here. That's it, parent and child. Okay. Now we'll manipulate these in inspect element. Okay, here they are. So we'll just put this border 1 pixel solid. Okay, we'll put a background as green. Okay, green yellow, yeah, looks nice. Okay, we'll just copy this quickly, paste it here. Okay, now we'll just manipulate these child divs. We'll put a border to them. Border 1 pixel solid blue. Yeah. We'll put a width to it as 50 pixel. Great. And then there's some text in it, so we'll just align it as center. Center align. Okay. So border, width, and text align. Now we'll just copy this. Okay, So we'll put this as flex, display flex. Okay. Now what this does is it arranges all the children element in a line. It can be in a row or it can be a column. We can specify it here. So by default, all of these come in a single row. We can even, say flex direction as column or column reverse. It will be 4, 3, 1, 2, 1, or inherit means like the casual one or the one its parents is having. Initial, then revert, row reverse. As you can see, it comes here. Instead of there, it comes here, and then unset. So we'll just deal with rows. So basically Flexbox are used for, uh, responsiveness. That's the main use of Flexbox. See, now as you can see, it's not responsive. We need to make it a bit responsive now. Okay. Oh my God. So once again, I'll just write these down. It's a display property and flex direction. One second. So now what we can do is we'll just add one more property to it. So, to make them go properly in responsive way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just give me a second. Let's continue back. We forgot to put flex in this. Yeah. So now all of them is aligned properly. We can even change the width of the parent element. So second parent def width 800 px. Just a second. Actually forgot to put some margin to this. Put some margin, 10 pixel. Yeah. Copy this, paste it here. Now what we want is like when we shorten the screen size, we want these, 1, 2, 3, 4 to go like align themselves properly. It should be 1, 2, 3, and then next line we want 4, 5, 6, and then next line we want 7, 8, 9. So how do we achieve that? So there's one property called flex wrap and then wrap. So we'll do that now. Flex wrap, yeah. Great. So basically what we did was we told it that if the phone size or desktop size, it's getting smaller, we need to wrap these elements in itself. As you can see, like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and then when you keep making it smaller, it just goes down to fit in its parent element. So that's one thing. Flex, wrap, and then wrap. So these are the three main properties for Flexbox. One is display flex, Then flex direction, it could be row, column, column, reverse, and then flex wrap. Like wrap, then no wrap, revert, unset, wrap, wrap, reverse. Wrap reverse is basically ulta of what reverse is. So we'll keep it for wrap, wrap for now. Cool. So the next thing is in Flexbox, like we can even manipulate, like for example, these are 8 elements, right? We want the second element to be a bit more larger size, and then the other elements. So we can even achieve that by flex grow or flex shrink. So we'll just do that quickly. Okay, one more thing I forgot actually. There's one property in Flex, like main property, justify content. Sorry, justify content. Yeah. So it can be of 3-4 types. Let's just see each and every one of them. It could be first center. So what this does is it center aligns all its elements, and then we have flex justify content at the end. So it makes everyone go at the end. And then we have flex end, basically end of the flex, then flex start of the flex, and then inherit with default one or the parent one. So here the parent does not have any flex, so it just takes the default one. Then we have initial, then we have left, normal, revert, right, so left, right, and then the main important one is space around. So what this does is basically once again, contains space around, yeah. So it creates a imaginary margin between here and here and here, and this margin is supposed to be twice of this. For example, if this is X margin, this should be 2X. That's one like neat property of justify content, space around. So yeah, so one more is justify content, space around. Then we have space between, also like the spacing in between, and the margin on the right and left is decreased. Then we have space evenly, the last one. So basically, as I've said, it was X this and then 2X here. Now it's everything is same. All the elements are spaced evenly. So we just do space evenly here. So despite that fact, we still have that wrap property to make it all look neat and wrap properly like this. Yeah. We'll just make this a bit larger for everyone to see. Parent def 800 pixel. Font size. Okay, so now it's more visible. So that's all about Flexbox. Okay, what happened? Next line margin. Never mind. X again. So come here. Okay, great. So that's all about Flexbox. So we'll move on to the next thing. I think so that's it. That's all about CSS. Now we'll just move on to JavaScript. And a quick recap about all of these elements which we have just discussed. Yeah, from the start, this was flex property used for responsiveness basically, and then So it's flex, and this was for background color. We can change the background color as well as the color. And this is an ID, like the selector selectors. They can be classes or IDs or just the tag itself. This was class. This was putting margin on top right and everywhere. This was playing around with paddings. This was height. This was positioning. Yeah, and then this was absolute positioning. And this was hover property. This was discussed at the end, I guess. So basically what happens in hover is you put an element and then you put something like this dash hover. For example, we have a paragraph tag here, hover over me. So we just copy the class and then put the class here, then put this hover, and then like when you hover over it with your cursor, it changes color according to the property which you have specified. Yeah, so there's that about CSS. So these are just the basic CSS which you will be needing in your upcoming projects, or if you want to advance more into CSS or JavaScript, or even web development to begin with. Okay, then next topic which we will be discussing is JavaScript. So we need programming languages in our life, right? So for web browsers, the language which it understands is JavaScript, nothing else. So you can say JavaScript is the programming language of browsers. There's one way to say it. Okay, so first, as we have discussed about CSS, how to include CSS in your website, there are 3 steps. One is inline. Okay, so one is inline, like directly putting it like this. One is external, by making a link file like this, and one more is internal by just specifying style tag, then putting your stuff here, putting your classes and IDs here. That's internal. So now first thing what you need to do is we need to include JavaScript file here. So what we need to do is we need to go down, make a tag script was index.js. Just checking if it is done or not. Okay, good. Let's explain you what I've done. So yeah, JavaScript, as it has all the coding part of it, it is kept at the end of the HTML file. So that way, what the browser does is it first reads the HTML file from top to bottom. It first reads all of these stuff, and then it reads the JavaScript. For example, the JavaScript file has many stuff in it. So that way it might load the page for even a longer time. That's why you put JavaScript file at the end, because it first loads the page, loads the HTML, loads the CSS, and then it loads the JavaScript. So we have JavaScript file at the end. Script tag source index.js, basically create index.js file, and then alert is something like this. This is an alert box. Okay. Hopefully that much is clear. Okay. Now first thing what we need to discuss in this is function. Function, as you have like in your C programming, C++, like what you do in C++ is just write the function name, then parameters, then open your brackets and write the function block. It is same as here. For example, we'll make a function do this. This is a normal function. Second. Function name, parameters if there are any, and then the block of code. For example, we can put alert this this happened. Okay, obviously this function will not run because we have not called it, so we need to call this function do this. So it's not necessary to put semicolon at the end, but I just do it as it's a practice. Okay, see, it works. This happened. We can even pass something here. This happened today. So alert this, alert text, then we can call this from the parameter. So do this function, then we have a string called today. We're passing the string in this function. This function will just read it, and then when the alert function is called, it takes this text and then displays it. Yeah, so today, fair enough. So that's the basic functionality of or a function, what it does. So what we can do is, this is the function in the index.js file, right? So what we'll do is we'll connect our HTML page and the functions which are there in it. So one way to connect it is by using events. Quickly make some notes here. Script src equals to index.js. This is one way to include script index.js file in your HTML file, and then one way to connect your HTML as well as JavaScript is by using events. Now we'll discuss what are events. Now, for example, we have a button over here. Button tag says click me. Okay, great. First, we'll remove this. So what our goal is, like when we click this, something should happen. So that way our website is dynamic and not static. So we'll go here, go to this button, we'll add a event. This event is on click. On click. And then what happens on click is this. Show this. Okay. There's a function. Basically, we copy the same function, go over here, Control C function, then Control V, some parameters if there are any, open the block of code, alert, works. See, you click this, it shows this part. That is the basic functionality of on-click function, on-click attribute, I mean event. I'll just show you guys again. So we have made a button. We have put a function called show this. This function gets triggered when we click it. And what happens when you click it? It gives an alert called works. So the flow is show this function is getting called. We go to index.js. It finds where show this function is, and then it renders this code. So we'll make one more button and just do something else. Show this again. Copy this. Click me again. Copy this. Go to index.js. Make a new function. Put the function name, parameters if there are any. Open the block of code. Okay, so what should we put here? We'll make another alert. Works again. Let's see if it does. Refresh. Click me shows works. Click me again shows works again. So that was the most basic event that was on click. There are many other events as well. We have on mouse over, then we have on mouse leave, then we have on click. As we have discussed now, like there are many events on input, on change. So we'll discuss them, like you guys can discuss them by yourself after the session if you're interested. Okay, now next thing is, as we don't have that much time, I can't explain you all the events, so I'm sorry for that. Click. Now what if I tell you, like when I click this, okay, sorry, when I click this, the color of this thing will change, or the text of this thing will change. Okay, so we'll just do that now. We'll make 2 paragraph tags. Change my text 737. Okay. Change my color. We'll give it a class color call color, and then we'll change this as color should be text. Now what our goal is, 1 second, ये नहीं किया अब तक. What our goal is, like when we click this one, this thing's text will change, and when we click this one, this thing's color will change. So how do we achieve that? Obviously we'll do it by on click to change text. Text. So one rule of, like, basically default rule of JavaScript is, it's not a rule, it's just a practice. When we name our functions, we name them in camel case. So first letter is always small and the next ones are always capital. That's one, practice followed in JavaScript. So we'll copy these functions. Function, change text, and then this one as well. Sorry. Now we need to target these text one and target this one. What will change this to ID? Okay. So we need to target this and then target this. So how will we do that? How will we target, our tags? So there are 3 ways to target DOM elements. I mean HTML elements. 3 ways, 3 or more. There could be more. Who knows? Or more ways. First is get element by class name elements, then get element by ID, and third is query CLEQR. Yeah, there are 3 ways. Give me a second, just a second. Okay, I'm back. First, we'll discuss the get elements by ID method. Okay, so the flow is when someone clicks this function is getting called, and when we go to this function, this thing happens. So we need to target that element. Okay, so how will you do that? So we'll just do document, means the whole DOM document dot get element by ID, and then we insert the ID name. What is the ID name? Text. See, now we have got the thing. Then dot inner HTML text. 1 second, sorry. Text changed. Voila. Let's just test it now, and then I'll explain you what I've done. Oh, something is wrong. Just a second. document dot get element by get element by ID text. What?
Get element by class.
1 second, my bad. This was by ID, this was by class. Thank you. See, text changed. By the way, who was this? Okay, never mind. Okay, I'll just explain again. So this was done by ID. ID name was text. So what we do is we call this function change text. On doing that, document means this whole thing is our document. I'll show you why. Second, console. See, when you type document here in your console, in your inspect element, and you then click on it, it just tells you what all you have selected. So basically you are selecting the document, and then what we're doing is we are selecting this element. So document, I'm not sure if you can zoom this. See, you already have these two here. Document dot get element by ID, then text. It even shows you what tag it is. So there's that. So get element by ID is a way of selecting your tags. It could be by ID or class. And then we have the ID name. Then we have what we want to change. We can even do dot style, dot blur, anything. So in HTML is what the HTML content is there. And then we'll change to this certain text. So there's that. Next is you want to change its class, right? You want to change by class. So one way of doing that is document.get elements by class. It's not element by class, it's elements by class. And so we'll go there. Class is color, change color. Yeah, we have done it. So, document sets the whole document. Dot get elements. See, it's already here. You don't need to memorize all the tags, all the selectors. Get elements by class name. So this is one. This is one is a bit tricky one. The class name one. Color, right? Document that got get elements by class name color. Basically what this is it's elements, right? So it returns an array, and what we have here is its element. So it just returns one particular tag because ID is unique. It just gives, it's just for one tag or one element. It just has one thing that gets returned. Basically in class, like multiple things have classes, right? Like same classes. That's why it is elements, and then that's why it returns an array. So how do we target that? So what we do is we need to define this to a variable, for example, or something constant or variable. We make it const to change equals this. So what happens here is, as I've told you, it returns an array. So that array gets stored in this variable, and in this variable. Next, we need to target the first element of that array. So how do we do that? To change the first one, it starts from 0, like all the languages in C++ as well. To change dot inner HTML equals to change as well. Okay, change my text, change me, change it as well. So we'll just discuss. Okay, oh my bad, I'm supposed to change color, right? Okay, so to change dot style, I guess I'm not sure what's one style dot color equals to not sure if this is right. Okay, I'm right. Okay, let's just do a recap of what we have done. On click, it's an event. It triggers JavaScript functions. This is a JavaScript function. It goes to this index.js file. It searches for this function. It goes to that function. Now, as multiple elements have same class, that's why document.getElements by class name returns an array. So this toChange is an array. So what we need to do is we need to target the first element of that array. That we'll do that by 0. Basically, it tells the first thing. Then dot style. Style means like style sheets, cascading and all that. Style, and then dot color. It is changed to blue. That color is like it was first this thing, right? Color was crimson, and now the color is blue. You know what? We'll make one more of like this and try to change that as well. Change color to change color to, and then okay, class color, change my color to. Okay, so the way to target that one is we'll just do this, Control C, Control V, 1. So as I've told you, this is an array. So the first element, the first of this would be this one, and the second of this array would be this one. Let's see if that works. Change my text change, change my color changed. Okay, let's change it to something else. Blue, yellow. Change my text change my color. 1 second, why is this happening? Okay, both are linked to the same function. Okay. Function change color to now it should work. Change text, change color. Okay, great. Now this is the second one, get elements by class name. Now the third one is get, you get everything in that. You get IDs as well as classes. So that one is query selector. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. What? Just link it to this one only. We'll make a new button. And click change change everything. This, go here, make a new function, parameters if there are any. Yeah, this. Now similarly, what we need to do is we need to do it by DOM method. DOM is document object model. Yes. What all we have been doing is called DOM manipulation. We just manipulate the things in our document. Okay, now so we'll just start with the ID first, and then we'll move to class. Okay, so document dot query selector. And then what do you have in the query? We have ID, right? So ID hashtag text. And HTML equals text change. Okay, I'm not sure if this works, but I've used this a long back ago. Just see again. Change everything, right? Okay. Okay, it works. Just refine it थोड़ा बहुत. Change everything. Okay. So yeah, this was for ID. Selecting ID. Now we'll have selecting class. So the way to do that is, as it's a class, it has an array, as I've discussed in this part. This will be an array, right? So document dot query selector. What was that class name? Color, right? If this works or not. Style dot color equals PLV. Okay, so we need to target it specifically. Okay, great. Okay, so const to change color equals this. This will be an array because multiple elements have same classes. And we'll do it. What we'll do is to change color 0. Yeah. 1 second. I think I've messed up something. To change color or style dot color equals yellow. Oh, I think so. This should be all. Oh, my bad. It should be dot color because it's a class, right? Document query selector all dot color. Okay. This will be ending JavaScript. So yeah, change text, change color of this one, change color of this one, and this thing, it changes everything. You know, text change, color changed, color changed. So in query selector, what you need to do is query selector. Basically, if it is one element, we can do query selector, and then this thing. If it is an ID, we need to put hashtag. If it is a class, we need to put dot. And since class has multiple stuff in it, that's why it will be, you know, manipulated by putting it in array. The array is to change color, and you know, we can target the first one by 0, second one by 1. So there's everything about query selector. Wait. Document. And then this. Now we'll just move on to building a resume. I hope this one is clear. If you have any doubts, you can, you know, ask in the chat as well. Okay, before that, I think so. I forgot to tell you guys. Please install Node.js. It will be helpful for the upcoming, you know, next 35 minutes, which will be done by Gaurav. Just go to node.js.com. Okay, dot download. It's in the chat actually. You can start downloading this, and while Gaurav gives the presentation about Angular, it will be either 32-bit or 64-bit depending on what your computer has. In the meantime, we'll have Gaurav now for this presentation about Angular. Gaurav?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Check. Yeah. So guys, hi everyone. I am Gaurav Pawar. Now I will be explaining about Angular and Firebase. So I'll give you a brief introduction about these two technologies. So what is Angular? What is Angular? First, it is a front-end client-side JavaScript framework. What front-end client-side JavaScript framework means? When we open an app, for example, in JavaScript app, everything will be first loaded into the browser. The JavaScript framework is loaded into a browser. Then, in the which means we are on the client side. So it is a client side JavaScript framework. Okay, then it is created and maintained by Google. This means it has good community and regular updates are passed on. It is also a single page application. So SPA means single page applications. So what a single page application means is, now if I enter something, Angular tutorial for example, so this is YouTube, right? It is made by Google, and it is made on Angular framework. So as you see here, if another website, if I type something, it will reload, right? If I click on something, it will reload. But in these frameworks, which is JavaScript, React, and many more, it will not reload. It will do everything in this page only, in this single page only. So this is called a single page application. So it is a part of very powerful mean stack. What is meant by mean stack? So mean stack is nothing but a tech stack which is used for end-to-end production of a web application. So what is in mean? M is MongoDB. MongoDB is a NoSQL database. Okay, it is used to store data. And Express.js, we need, for example, we need in backend we need APIs, right? We will create APIs, then we take it to front end and display the APIs data through API, right? So Express what it does is it will create these APIs, and which will be written in Node.js. So why Node.js? What is Node.js? Guys, JavaScript and Node.js are same. The why we will say Node.js is because JavaScript is a browser language. JavaScript only runs in browser. It will not run. It is not like C++ or something. So they this was a problem with JavaScript. But after that, they mean Node.js. What Node.js people they created a Node.js tool, which was the creator of this Node.js is Ryan. Okay, he created the Node.js. What Node.js solves the problem is it will run JavaScript in uh, not in browser, out of the browser also, like in our local machines. It can run like how we install C++, right? Like this we can install Node.js and we can produce applications on our local system itself. As you've seen, right, as Mohit explained now, that everything was he was doing everything in browser, right? So that's then Angular is a JavaScript framework. Okay. why we use Angular, right? We can do everything by JavaScript. But as you've seen, just to create a simple on-click function, we need to target the element from HTML and everything. For if I want to create this like this Google Docs application, it would be very hectic, and the code also will be very large. So the more the code, it will load slowly in the browser. So these frameworks solve these problems. So what are the benefits of Angular? So also, uh, what is it is for it is Angular is all ready for testing. What is testing? Before deployment of our project, the projects, sorry, the company, the owner of the product likes to test the application before the end user uses it, because after that, if end user should not get any crashes, right? Your application should be secured. So uh, these all are components. Angular, these all are Angular, React, all these frameworks works on components, uh, component level architecture. So everything like as this is a thumbnail, this is a we can make it as a component, this is as a component. So we can make it, and like we can make these things as a component, and then we can test it. So it makes easily, it can be easily tested. We will not get any problem. It is why it is used, testing is used, because for scaling large applications we don't need any crashes, right? So that's why we use it. Okay. Um, Next, what are the benefits? As I said, structured reusable components, fast rendering, data binding, and templating. Data binding means component level data uh, passing here, passing data from one component to another, like that. And rapid. This is for production company. Uh, Rapid development framework. It is reusable components across your project, large objects. These are open source projects. You can also contribute them. Okay, many people compare React.js and AngularJS, right? But React.js is only a UI library. It's not a framework, because React only controls the UI part. It can make components, but it will can't. You can't store data in React, right? In Angular, it is a whole framework. It follows the MVC structure. So guys, what MVC structure is? MVC is a model view controller structure. That means it is an end-to-end framework. You can store data, you can pass data, you can change UI. Everything is, it is an inbuilt solution for everything of your web application. But in React, it is just a, if we compare with React.js, only React.js, it is just a UI library. React is just a UI library. It is not. It can't store data like that. But React in Angular, the benefit is everything is at one place. In React, it is independent, and we should import other libraries. Okay. After that, so the you can see this Angular and React, Angular versus React. React is made and maintained by Facebook. It is a library. It uses JSX. These Angular uses TypeScript. This is the model structure of folder structure of the Angular. This is testing scenarios. We have here the test target. These are node modules, npm. Everything is stored here. This is source code. Everything files we create will be here. This is git ignore. If we put any file names here, the git it just ignores it because they are large files. Okay, next. Now Mohit will hand over from here.
Okay, hello guys. Okay, thank you Gaurav for the presentation about Angular. So now what we'll be doing is we'll be making our first Angular web app. I hope most of you have installed Node.js by this time. Okay, first of all, is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is visible.
What is visible on my screen?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, great. Okay, so guys, quickly install Node.js. In the meantime, we'll just start with Angular. First, we'll make a file, we'll make a folder. New Angular web app. We'll open this folder in our VS Code. File, open folder, Angular website folder. Okay, so basically what we'll be building is we'll be building a single web page, small application. It's going to look something like this. You change my room temperature, you click plus, this thing gets increased, you click negative, this thing gets decreased, right? So we'll quickly make that. So I hope everyone has installed Node.js. If not, you cannot do these current steps. Okay, now so go to this thing, open a new terminal in your VS Code. Now the commands for this are, first is you need to install Angular. So it is npm install -g, then Angular CLI. I'll write them here. First command is npm install -g. Here G stands for global @angular/CLI. So for this to happen, you need to have installed Node.js. Anyways, so okay, npm install global Angular CLI. Click on that. So what this does is it installs Angular for you. I'll let you know like why do you need to do all these stuff. Also, while this thing gets installed and while you guys are installing Node.js, so the task for this session is like to get certificate for this session is you need to make something like this and then deploy it on Firebase. Like deployment part will be showed will be displayed by Gaurav or explained by Gaurav. Okay, so after that is done, the next command is ng new, then your application name. I will type it down here. ng new so we'll make it ng new temperature app or just temp app. So this command installs Angular. This command will make a new Angular environment for us. So it asks, would you like to add Angular routing? Okay, sure, why not? Then it's going to ask you which style sheet format would you like to use. So we are familiar with CSS, so we'll just choose CSS. Just click enter blindly. That's all it needs. Now it's going to make an environment for Angular. Okay, I still have time to install Node and do all these commands. Also, you can check the chat and join the WhatsApp group. I'll be telling you about how to get the certificate for these sessions. Okay, it should not take this much time actually. I don't know what's happening. I guess I have too many tabs open. Okay, done. Okay, now we'll go into the folder in which this thing is created. So it will be okay. To check this, you can just see we have a folder named temp app. That was the name given to our application. I guess somewhere here. Here, yeah, ng new temp app. So what we'll do is we'll just go into that directory. cd means change directory. Temp app. Now we are in that directory. Now to deploy that, to deploy what we have not deployed, to host what we have just made, you need to do ng serve. I'll just quickly write these. cd, then app name, and then to host it, ng serve. Enter. Okay, we'll just see what it has got for us. And go here, localhost colon 4200. So basically it has given us all of these stuff. So you can ask me where has all these stuff come from. So it's actually from here. When you go to temp app, then you go to source, then you need to go to app, and then you will need to go to HTML. So it just Control A, delete all of that, and yeah, see, it's empty now. If you just write here h1 first Angular app, you can see it shows first Angular app here. So I know all of this is quite overwhelming. You have just been introduced about HTML like 2 days ago, 1 day ago, and then you have been introduced about CSS today and then JavaScript today. So don't worry. I know like it's not recommended to go from HTML, CSS, and then Angular in 1 day. It's basically you're doing parkour. It's not like that. You need not, but since you are supposed to, explain about Angular and all of these stuff, we are telling you this, but just keep this stuff in mind, okay? You can have this code somewhere in your, computer and then come back to it while you're learning Angular. But I recommend first learn HTML, then CSS and JavaScript, build some apps with it, build some websites. And then when you're interested in web development, you can come back to Angular. Okay. So all of these stuff on the left, just completely ignore that. Index.html, all of these stuff, favicon, sab ignore kar do. Assets also, ignore all of these. Now the main thing what we need to discuss is obviously index.html. This code, right? This looks familiar. Okay, it looks familiar, I know. Now all these tags, HTML tag, head tag, title tag, link tag as well. Then you can ask me what this new tag is. Now this tag, under this tag, our complete application is built upon. So that's all you need to know. You have this HTML stuff. Then you have this something weird looking tag called app root. Now under this, the complete application is built upon. That's all you need to focus on. You can ask me where this thing is. This thing is here. Like we have a folder called app. We have its specific files. We have app routing. Need not worry about this. Completely ignore this. Then we have app component.css. You guys know CSS. It looks familiar. It's empty. So okay, fair enough. Also you have HTML. So all you need to focus on is HTML, CSS. I mean app.component.css, app.component.html, and then one small thing is app.component.ts. That's all you need to focus on. Okay, that's it. HTML, CSS, and then component.ts. That is it. So we'll just quickly start with building this thing. I'll just give you a recap again. You need not worry about all of these things on the left. These are completely irrelevant. I know it's quite difficult to just move from HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then Angular in one day. So just ignore all of these. No one needs to know about these stuff. You have model.ts, okay, not important, not important. What you need is component.css, component.html, and then component.ts. Okay, that's it. Now, now we'll just write something code here, like one more stuff. Paragraph tag. Okay. See, it renders here. Cool, fair enough. Now we'll start building it. Something like as I've shown you. Yeah, not this one. Okay, so we need to build something. Okay, I've lost that browser. Anyways, so we'll just start by, change my temperature. Or what we can do is we'll just, we'll get this certain particular word from our file as from our .ts file, this one. So we'll just make something called change our what, change this equals temperature. So instead of writing temperature over there, what we can do is we can just put double curly brackets and then change this. See, basically what happens is this style.url is your styling file, template.url is your HTML file, CSS, HTML, and then whatever we need to do the modifications, functionings, all that coding part comes under this umbrella. So whatever variables we have, for example, we have a title variable, it can be accessed here. For example, we'll just make title temp app, change this is temperature, change my temperature, and this is the temp app which we have. As you can see, change this has come from the previous file, and title has come from this. I'll show you again. Title has come from this. This has come from this temperature. Anyways, so we'll quickly start building this. Okay, let's cancel this, now, and paragraph tag, current temperature. Okay, so the temperature at my house is something 22. So So copy this, go here, if it has come or not. 22, great. Now it should be in Celsius, right? So we'll make this thing. There's a tag called SUP, means superscript. SUP 0 and then Celsius. This is called a superscript tag. What happens is, I'll show you. Yeah, this thing, superscript tag, 20 degree Celsius. Okay. Now we'll make two buttons to increase or decrease the temperature. One, increase the temperature, and then we have button 2 to decrease the temperature. Now 1 second. So in JavaScript, what we did was, if you wanted to change something, if you want to do DOM manipulation, what we did was we had this on-click event, right? So in this case, instead of on-click event, we have something similar to it. It's just the same. What we call it here is just click. Click and then equal to obviously function name. So in this case, the function name should be increment, and then open bracket, close bracket. Similarly, here we'll have increment. Okay, on click event, what does it do? It calls increment function. On click event, decrement function, like that. Now we need to assign something to these functions. So we'll quickly go here. As I've told you, all the coding happens in this current umbrella. So what we'll do is go here, we'll make these functions, copy this, paste it here, function brackets, if parameters are there, then go here, and then open bracket, close bracket, open curly bracket, block of code. Now you need to change this part, right? So how do you access that? You can't just do current temperature plus or current temperature plus equal to 1. What you'll do is this dot current temperature plus equal to 1, or you can even do plus. Similarly, this dot current temperature minus. Let's see if it has done something. Okay, great, it works. Now I think so. That said, should we need to style it or not? I'm not sure. I'll just tell you the task for this session is basically do what I've just done right now and just add your own styling to it. Basically, you have these h1 tags, right? You can put some classes to it, and then classes here as well. Title, and then paragraph tag, or temperature, and then you can have class button. Okay, that's it. So I've already added classes for you guys. So what your task is basically to get the certificate for this second session. First session I'll let you know in the WhatsApp group. So the second session is basically you need to make a Angular web app. I have these classes here. You need to just get into these classes from this thing. It's simple. Just go title here, title, then you can manipulate stuff here. That's all your task is, to add styling to this app that we have built. Change my temperature. If you click on plus, this thing gets increased. You click on minus, this thing gets decreased. So that's it. I hope it's clear. I'll just give you a quick recap, and then Gaurav will explain you about its deployment. Once again, this is Angular. It's completely different from what we have been doing over the past 2 days. It's a completely new environment. It's advanced. So firstly, install Node.js, and then open your VS Code, and then in your VS Code open your terminal. In your terminal, install npm, install Angular, npm install, then -g Angular. G is for global. Then ng new your app name, or in this case our app name is temp app, temperature app. And then you need to go into that folder of which you have created, cd change directory, that folder, and then ng serve to just first it. That's it. Then you'll be exposed to this huge block of code in your app.component.html. So just completely remove all of this, cancel it out. Well then, I have lost all the code. Anyways, never mind. Just build it again as I'm doing the recap. Okay, h1, change my temperature, right? So we need to take this, Control C, and then current temperature. So basically add a paragraph tag, paragraph current temperature. Yeah, current temperature. Okay, so current temperature would be yeah, current temperature. Now we need to increase or decrease them. So we had made two buttons, plus, and then minus button, and then we had an event called click event. Click equals to increase in int. Brackets, yeah. I guess that's it. Plus, yeah, works fine. And yes, so two buttons, increase, decrease, plus, minus. So I think so. If you have been following, you can get this code, or just you can view the recording and get this code. Anyways, your task would be to add classes to this, IDs to this, whatever you want, and this just change its styling and then deploy it. That's it. If you have any doubts, you can just ping in the WhatsApp group. All right, Gaurav, you can explain about the deployment.
Yeah, all right. Can anyone confirm if my screen is visible?
It's visible.
Yeah. So now I'll be explaining about Firebase. So guys, what is Firebase? Yeah. Firebase is a backend as a service, which means it will handle everything the server side related and database related things. It Firebase is also created by Google and maintained by Google. It provides many services like hosting, deployment, hosting, and cloud storage. As you can see here, app check, many storage options, functions, real-time databases, and Firestore database. It also provides analytics, Google Analytics, like that things. When we should use Fire, if you want very minimal level of integration of third-party services like Google login and many things, which also provided by Firebase. So what I said is, it will handle this part of traditional way of processing a web app, deploying a web app. It is handled by its Firebase SDK software development kit. It provides features like real-time database authentication, cloud messaging. If you want to, if a user want to log in, enter your web app through Google sign in, it is provided by the Firebase. Cloud messaging, notifications, and all, everything like that. These apps are made. These are large apps made by uses Firebase for the services. Okay, now we will start deployment. I'll show you the deployment process. So you open the VS Code, your project, and make sure that you are in the project directory. Right. After that, I've just deployed this app before, so some changes might be there in you. You can ping me. I can solve that. Okay. First, you need to enter the command ng build in your VS Code. Ng build. You can also use this, but it's better to use ng build. Okay. It will take time. So what ng build does is it will create this folder, this dist folder. So you can see it is creating. Now it will build a production app. You can use this folder. You can take this folder and you can also deploy it on Amazon Web Services, AWS hosting platform, GoDaddy.com, or Vercel, Netlify, anything which provides hosting option. You can directly take that folder and deploy on it. It will be working. It will be on World Wide Web. So till the time, okay, it's completed. Okay, the next step is to type command npm install -g. -g is global. It installs Firebase tools. Okay, I will Firebase tools globally in our system. Installing. Everything, if you want to check any what we are using in our app, what they are installing, you should come to package.json. Here you can see everything. Dependencies means what we are using external, we are importing externally, packages like that. Okay. You see, on starting with typed ng start, it will start the web application in a local host. Local host is here. These are the dependencies which are currently in our website app website folder. This is Angular CLI, which Mo is installed. Okay. After this, we should log in with Firebase. Firebase login. Type Firebase login and enter. So guys, in this step, you might, if you are installing, if you are deploying, if you are deploying it for the first time, it will, after you press this, after you enter Firebase login, then it will take you to a browser, and you should log in. You should have a Firebase account. For that, you should already uh, log in or make a Firebase account. So I'm already logged in. So it is showing me already logged in. After that, we need to initialize our project. So for that, you should enter Firebase in it. It will initialize our project. It will ask us few questions. The first question is, are you ready for proceed? Ready to proceed? Yes. Yeah. You should control. You should click on the hosting, but should press the arrow keys. You should control it by pressing arrow keys. Then enter. To select it, you should press space. Okay, space. To go upward and downward, you should use arrow keys and press space. Okay. After that, you can click on enter. Then the next question is, do you want what it is asking you what you want to use as your public directory. Basically, it means what you want to, which folder do you want, which folder is your production folder. So as I said, this is our production folder, which is dist slash counter app, because counter app is our app website.
Gaurav, can you zoom in?
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for that. Uh, so we should. It is asking what is our production app. Which folder we want to deploy. So we want to deploy this folder. So just type its name. After this, you should also this is a subfolder which is a counter app. So you should also enter the app name, counter app. Okay. So first check what is it. So you can see this, everything is here. We don't have any TypeScript or like that, because this is as I said, our browser only understands JavaScript, HTML and CSS, right? So Angular converted everything into JavaScript, CSS and files, right? So how it was created by, it was created by setting up build, which was our first command, which is build. It was created by ng build. Okay. After that, click on enter. It is asking configure as a single page app. No, you don't need. It is asking us to deploy on GitHub. No, we don't need to deploy on GitHub. It is asking to override HTML. No. After that, our project is almost completed. We just need, everything is completed. We just need to deploy now. For that, you should enter Firebase deploy. Now it will generate a URL for us. Okay, you can click on it. So this is the web. So I will share this with you. You can also check it. Now Okay, guys, that was the deployment part. Now the voice take.
Gaurav, you're on mute.
Okay, sorry for that. Yeah. Uh, yeah. After this deployment command, the URL is generated. Okay. On click, if you click on that, it will take us to the, and this is overall live. You can use it. See. Yeah. If anyone have doubts, I can show it once more if you want. I'll share those commands. Anyone? Any doubts?
Hello.
Yeah.
What about the previous assignment? How we can submit it?
So, Amima, you can.
Yeah, I'll let you know in like a few minutes after the session. I'll let you know in the WhatsApp group actually. Are you in the WhatsApp group?
Yes, I am in the WhatsApp.
Yeah, let you know over there.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
And also, we have to host the website on GitHub, you said, right?
Yes, I will show you how to do that as well.
Yes, I actually checked. So index file, maybe my index file is missing, I think. So I'll check that.
Yeah, okay. Nonetheless, I will just show you again. I'll make a whole PDF about how to post on GitHub. Because we were
Okay,
supposed
thanks.
to show that in today's session, but as we did not have that much time, we could not show you. It's already like we are 19 minutes ahead or 19 minutes lagging, something like that.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Is there any way to download the previous lecture? Like I missed it.
Yeah,
So
that lecture actually, it's on YouTube. We'll share that link as well in the group.
oh, okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot for this session. If you have any doubts, even after the session, you can just ping in the WhatsApp group. I'll be most probably available. And for the certificates, yes, you will get them if you have done the assignments or the tasks, which are those basic tasks which are easy to do as well.